does Omantel plan to contribute to the pillars of Vision 2040 and balance its growth strategy while creating new business opportunities in the sector?
Well, first of all, thank you for taking this initiative and putting together these great minds together. And I'm sure there will be more than one of these version of this roundtable. Well, definitely, as you have mentioned, technology is embedded in the Vision 2040. Omantel specifically, I will have to talk about our experience here. As far as alignment with Vision 2040, the pillars of people, society, environment are definitely embedded in our purpose as well as vision. However, we believe any advancement, any realization from technology will have to rely on establishing an ecosystem, indeed, maybe a collaborative ecosystem. Our approach has been actually following this ecosystem. First, focus on the foundation. And here, specifically, since we are in the telecom sector, it is very important to have the right infrastructure in the country and an advanced infrastructure as far as technology is concerned. So that addresses the accessibility of various technology platforms to both citizens as well the enterprise and the government. The second most important pillar is, of course, is people. And building capacity is extremely important to make sure that this ecosystem is as effective as possible. The third pillar in this approach is investment in companies that are basically major players in the ecosystem. An example is ODB, Engineer Maqbool is sitting here, but there are many other investments that Omantel has taken in the last 5 years. Future City, which is focused in IT business, blockchain company, business process outsourcing, and the likes. The third pillar is a focus in what you mentioned specifically SMEs. Yes. And we believe in technology, startups, and creating the right innovative ecosystem is definitely important. Omantel Labs plays a role in accelerating the startups in various technological spaces. And we have run 2 cohorts so far. We are very proud that many of these companies have graduated successfully. Some still finding their way. The fourth pillar is definitely academia. And maybe this pillar is linked to the capacity building and the people pillar. But it's very important that we work right from the beginning, building the right curriculums in schools, making sure that sufficient R&D activities are taking place within universities. And finally, it's very important that you have the right regulatory and legal framework that is basically within that ecosystem, because you cannot really advance the agenda of technology and technology advancement without having that right regulatory as well legal framework.
Definitely, it is very important, and also including the project that Omantel announced last year, FinTech Accelerator Program. It is in collaboration with CBO, which targets promising high-potential local startups with technology support, digital lending solutions that would accelerate the growth of Oman's financial sector. So, as the project is almost in its final stage, may you please review the interest of the participants in this project?
This is a great example of that ecosystem that I was talking about earlier. The Central Bank of Oman have taken an approach of having a sandbox within the central bank to look at the the learning and advancing the learning curve as far as the fintech space is concerned. Of course, there was a focus on tech startups in this field, and we are very much honored to host this version of the central bank startups and sandbox. The experience has been more than amazing, I have to say. Many of these startups have basically leveraged a network with other startups that are in the Omantel labs. They have definitely looked at the space in which there are many opportunities, I have to say, that they can leverage. But fintech specifically, it's one of these emerging, if you will, services that can enhance the digital economy of Oman. One part of it is the likes of the sandbox that CBO have adapted, but it's very important that you also have the right collaborative and venues with the rest of the banking sector. I am a believer that fintech will not replace the banking sector completely. It will target specific segments that are underserved in the market. It will definitely probably focus more on enhancing experiences, but it definitely does not have the impact of eliminating a sector. And I take example from some of the advanced economies where fintech have taken many steps ahead of what we have here. The banking sector remains to be surviving and flourishing in some countries. So that collaboration is very important. Also, accessibility to talents is extremely important. Well, I believe that although while the academia is preparing our youth and young people to take active part in this advancement, it's very important that the economy is also attractive to talents even from outside of the borders of Oman. I cannot emphasize enough on the role that regulation has and the need to continuously review the laws around any pillar of this so-called 4IR. So it's very important that we are as agile as possible, like we are taking risks in establishing companies, investing in startups. I think it's very important to take, let me say, educated, risk approach when it comes to regulation. And it's very important to free up some space for companies of various sizes to try and from that we hopefully will have a better learning curve. And as we go, we can look again at the regulation and laws that enhances effectively this ecosystem.